We are joined today by Jean-Claude Monney, Global KM Lead at Microsoft Services, to discuss the link between KM strategy, execution, and culture. Jean-Claude, thanks for joining us. Community of practice are a huge part of the success in KM at Microsoft. What are some key outcomes or analytics or measures that help you know if the communities are still thriving?
So you're absolutely right. Community of practice are actually the brain and the nerves of any knowledge management initiative. And if you don't have a community of practice, you don't have a knowledge management initiative. And what they do is they do four things. Four major things. First of all, it's the place where the knowledge is being shared, and that's where people collaborate with knowledge. We have four type of community of practice. We have 17,000 unique members, and each member is a member of at least four communities. So let's say we have somebody that goes to visit a bank customer and doesn't know about private banking. You can seek for somebody that has industry knowledge in private banking there, and so on. And I think the metrics that we have behind this, number one is that community of practice are born with a purpose in mind. You don't impose that from a corporate standpoint, so we can have it. Really, there is a grassroots effort, and there's enough reason and business benefit that people say we need to do that. So what we develop at Microsoft Services is something we call the Community Health Index. And the Community Health Index is made of 7 KPIs. 5 KPIs measure basically the liveliness, the adoption, how many posts are being put, how fast people respond to the post, how long is the thread, what is the knowledge collaboration generated from this, and so on. And that gives you, if the community is active or not active. And the other thing that is done in a community is, I said there's four things. One was knowledge sharing. The second one is IP maturity, when you cultivate the IP. If somebody posts a document, it posts it to a community by default. You have to choose a community. After that, there's a subject matter expert, and we have 900 of those people, and they can look at those documents and decide whether or not this document can be elevated to the next level of maturity, which is called a SME approved IP. And that is really fundamental, because when you search for something, the search engine will give you, the fields that are most relevant first, and so on. And the third thing that the communities do is technical readiness. Our world is changing so fast that we need to look at instant readiness. So how you get instant ready on things that change all the time. So we're using the field, the people who are really in the field, to build like the curriculum of a training for getting ready in particular domain. And so the communities are what we have the most fabulous in the company to really collaborate on knowledge.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things at Microsoft is your KM, one of your KM initiative goals is to increase customer loyalty. Can you explain how you define that in relation to your KM program and how you measure it?
So, how we measure it. So the measurement is a standard measurement. The customer satisfaction is done through a survey method. And it's also very visible on repeat business that you do with customers. So loyalty is about that. So I think we have to go back to what are the benefits of knowledge management. Is one of the key benefits is predictability. So predictability, when our business is about delivering project, is it on time, on budget, on specification? If it's predictable, that way customer satisfaction is high. The other predictability is quality. And how do you increase quality in the delivery of the project is because you reused, an IP knowledge that has been done by somebody else maybe many times. So when we configure an exchange system for people for their new email, it's not the first time we're doing it. Maybe it's the 100th time we're doing it. So we know how much time it takes, we know exactly what the performance is going to be, and so on. That increases customer loyalty because people don't like surprises. They don't like to be guinea pig, and they love the reuse there. And I think that's how you increase customer loyalty, is just by delivering on time, on budget, on quality.
What's going to be the biggest challenge for KM at Microsoft in the next couple of years?
Probably as like all companies. I mean, we are living in a world in constant acceleration with greater uncertainty and much larger complexity. If we look at our portfolio, we're just now growing from 100,000 people to 132,000 people with Nokia, coming to the rank. And so therefore, I think the harnessing the company-wide knowledge in the way we're doing it in services is probably the biggest challenge, because right now there is one knowledge program in services, because knowledge is our business, is what we sell. People don't buy information in services. But for the rest of the company, there are knowledge activities, but they are not organized the way we are. So the biggest challenge probably will be, how can we make this company-wide? Like, we are not yet there, really there, from a global company standpoint.
Jean-Claude Monney from Microsoft, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.